G'day guys, Jackson Malala, welcome to here, hope you're doing well. So feeling a lot better today. We got our jab yesterday, or actually day before yesterday, today's Sunday. After we got our jab, we went and got the guineas and got the new chickies, because we knew that we'd be fucked on Saturday, which was true. Yesterday was terrible. It just felt like a flu, really tired, really lethargic. Head was just pounding, but today I feel good. So getting some chores done. So I'm just down by a little waterfall. This is one of the boundaries of our property, that basically the water runs the whole way down. We're expecting to get quite a lot of rains over the course of the next week. So I'm actually going to be going through these drains down there and just checking to see that they're all clear and we're not going to run into any issues. So I'm going to get stuck into that and we'll keep you posted. So it's really interesting to see like all of these riverbanks and the erosion that's happening here. All of this fills up in the wet season, so something to be mindful of. They reckon that the wet season is going to come early this year, so we've got to make sure that we're prepared. There's a few holes in the shed roof, and I've got to repair those because otherwise the chickies are probably not going to be too happy with me if they're getting wet in there. And wow, just look at these trees. It's beautiful down here. I should have put some insect repellent. I didn't. It's on me being silly. So let's have a look at this drainage. Now here's the thing, whenever you buy a new property, I'm getting bitten by march flies, you always find shit that needs to be fixed. So you can see this irrigation pipe here that's kinked. It's just, people just do shit job. You've got another irrigation pipe there that's been cut. I don't even know if we've got water down to the bottom property. I haven't even checked. All right, so here's the irrigation. I'm going to jump through the other side and just check and free shit up. So it's nothing too bad, but I probably should get my chainsaw and chop up that tree there. And just do some general clearing, so I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go put some bloody bug spray because these march flies are the fucking worst. They bit me all over my leg last week and it's so itchy, and obviously with the heat I started getting an infection. So the best cure is prevention. Rake before. Don't want to lose my rake. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Let's get down there, do a bit of work. So I've just seen some big crayfish in there. I'm just going to put down my thing for a moment. Let's fucking see that big crayfish. Right, there he goes. There's another one right there. They would be delicious. Alright, that drain's unclogged. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the property just to check the other drains. I haven't really been down there much yet, so let's go have a look. Getting pretty overgrown down here. property. This is the end of the property. And this is where the tidal mangrove starts. As you can see, it's pretty gross. There's no way I'm getting down there. And the river is just over there. And of course, we don't want to get too close because of the crocodiles. But there is a little fishing spot down here apparently. This is where the old owners, who are very fucking weird, would come to fish. And here are their little seats of death right next to the water, ready for the crocs to just come out at any second and fucking nom nom you. So that's a no from me. I also asked the neighbours about it, who've been here for 45 years. And they're like, yeah, don't go sit on the shore and fish there. Common sense is not all that common anymore. So everything's fine down here. Nothing too much to report aside from the fact that we have a fuckload of land to clear and work to reforest. So I'm gonna go check the other drain that's on the property. I'll show you that in a sec. And I went too fast and I lost my rake. Fuck. Now I've got to walk all the way back because I'm too lazy to turn around my quad. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this side of the property responds in the wet, right? Like, it is just crazy growth. I don't know when they last had adjustment of cattle or did anything on this property, to be fair. There's obviously like a little cattle shed there. Our kind of idea is to get maybe 10 head of cattle. There's something that's been reclaimed in there too. Yeah, 10 head of cattle and just let them go through and potentially have a series of different... Look at that. Is that a combi van? I think it is. Fucking just a combi van. Let me show you. Just a combi van rolled and it's claimed by forest. So if that doesn't kind of indicate how just crazy shit grows here, I don't know what does. Here's my rake. So my idea is different animals eat different things. So goats are great at destroying brush. They typically don't like eating grass. They much prefer to eat brush. Like they'll strip all of the leaves off all of these trees as high as they can get, which is great for cutting through this brush. So if we had, there's another thing that's been claimed. If we had like 10 head of goats, herd of 10 goats, and just let them go. Obviously we've got to be mindful of the fencing because that's the trouble with goats, is that they press on the fences and they're just little fuckers, so they try and get out. So what you'd end up having to do is probably make temporary goat enclosures with electrified fence that's solar powered, and you can get like 100 meter strands, so you could do a 25 by 25 patch, leave them there for a week, and basically they'll eat that whole patch bare. Keeping in mind, we've got 70 acres. So that takes a long fucking time to get animals to eat all of that. The cows don't need as good fencing. Obviously they can escape, but the neighbours are good here. If we had any animals escape, they'd tell us. Let me get back on the quad. So there's a lot of work to do here on that side anyway. We've also got to be mindful of how that side of the property responds in the wet. We don't know how much of it goes underground. I'm just checking these. that they're not blocked. Which is the reason why we're not building out any of our glamping facilities or anything yet. One, because we don't know what's going to go underwater. But two, it's fine. But two, there's just so much to clear. And that side is not really pretty enough to host guests. I think what the next thing I want to do is I want to get that weird swampy bit in the bottom corner of the property of our first lot. I want to get that sorted. We're definitely going to need some goats or some sheep or something to tackle that, because you can't even get there in a mower because it like falls into a ditch. Then I want to plant, dig a swale once we get some wet and I understand the flow of the water. The issue is all of that water, because this block is sloping, it's going to come down from the house. A lot of it's going to come sweeping through the driveway. Some of it's going to pool here and cascade down through here. And we want to catch that water and get it into the ground, because that's obviously what's going to feed our vegetables and our fruit. So on the borders of the property, there's like a big runoff. And I want to dig a swale across there so we can get water into that bank. I'm going to plant different plants that have really deep roots that will hold the soil in place, ensuring that it doesn't all wash away or get eroded. And then I guess I want to start with the sides of the property first before we go that way, because the good thing is I know that everything that is on, I'm going to grab my chainsaw, everything that is on the upper side of the road, and obviously that's where all of our neighbours' houses have been built, all of the things that are built on the upper side of the road is all fine in terms of wet. They've basically said that they've never flooded on the top side of the road. However, on the bottom side of the road, all the way down there, a lot of that is going to go underwater. This is what it is. So we want to make sure that we can we've got these beautiful paddocks here that are full of grass. This one first, get this taken care of. Then next, we've got this paddock, and it's just overgrown. Old mate's chopped these trees. Don't know why. And there's just so much to do. But it's fun, it's exciting. I can hear things roaming around in the paddock over there. Don't know what it is. Could be the chickens. Could be a cassowary. You never know around here. That sounds like a cassowary to me. Alright, so we're going to chop this tree here. I thought I heard a cassowary before, but so we cut halfway there. Then should fall that way. how you chop a tree. Not bad, eh? So the aim here is to obviously chop stuff down so when the wet does come and the winds do come, that we don't have trees breaking and falling on fences and just basically minimising damage. Let me just get out from under this barbed wire fence without getting caught. All right, so there's just so much to clear, and you need to do it in this dry season because obviously once the wet comes, it just gets away from you. So there's a few big trees that I'm concerned about. Our power lines are there, and there is this just huge tree. I probably need to get an arborist to come in and take those branches off. Just because if that goes, we're in for a really bad time. So I'm going to go behind the shed and just check other stuff just to get a bit of a feel for the property. There's so many places I just haven't explored yet. And I expect it's probably going to take me years to do so. So here's behind the shed. I need to be able to get up on that shed. I can hear something roaming around. Probably a cassowary. Once again, no surprise. I need to be able to get up on there because there is a rusty part on the roof. There obviously looks like there's a panel here. Oh, there's a hot water system there too. There's a panel here that I need to get up on there so I can try and fix that roof a little bit before the wet comes. I'd also like to put fly screens over that because obviously there's no coverage, and then there's just spideys coming everywhere. The chickens get a lot of them, but there's not all of them. There's a little hot water system here. Apparently they lived here while they were building the house. I don't know fucking how. People think I'm game living here. They had no fly screens. It was basically just a shed. No idea. By the looks of this shed, it looks like old mate who built the house originally back in the 90s. Looks like he built this himself, which is interesting. So, because he's used like 44-gallon drums filled with concrete for the pillars. And there's a little cane toad, motherfucker. Hate cane toads. So yeah, I need to be able to get up there. I could make a makeshift ladder out of... this could work. So, asking for tetanus, but if I put my gloves on, I should be all right. Let's try this. It's definitely not going to work. So the roof in the shed is fucked. I don't want to get up there, let alone on a makeshift ladder that is going to break any second. But then it means I also have to hold the sheet metal above my head as I climb up there. No, I need a better ladder and a better strategy and probably some helping hands. Oh, wow. I guess what's super interesting is I can visualize what this is going to look like in the future. When I close my eyes, I can see it all come to life. I can see everything grown out and all of the food forests creating an amazing yield and creating a great environment for us to bring people here and to be able to share with the community. And it's a little bit bittersweet because I know how long it's going to take. This is at minimum 5 years, I reckon. At minimum. By the time we clear everything, re-establish the crops, reforest, build, renovate, it's 5 years. This is what's interesting about this property, about this life for me, is it is so different to my normal everyday life in respect to the fact that I want everything now. And I guess that's why we're here, to get that balance, right? There's little things that you see and that you do in isolation here, and you just have to kind of take a leap of faith. You don't know whether it's going to pay off. You don't know whether you're wasting time. You don't know if you're delaying the goal. But it's also coupled with the fact that you need to learn yourself, right? Like, I could get people in, I could pay people to come and do this stuff for us. But where's the fun in that, really? Where's the fun in that? There's not. So we learn every day, there's new skills, and there's new habits that we're building. We're getting up earlier every day. We're feeling energized. We're bringing it to life. But it never happens fast enough, does it? It never does. All right, so I'm done for my chores for today. I'm going to go for a wander because I want to see more of the property. I guess, as I was saying before, it's so important for us to just be patient with seeing things come to their fullest potential, right? I think as entrepreneurs, we get conditioned to chase these dopamine dumps, right? We chase these things that are immediately fill us with adrenaline and all of these other chemicals that excite us, and it's addictive. It's really addictive. And I guess this is the reason why so many entrepreneurs just constantly pursuing growth. I'm no exception, honestly. There's a cassowary around. But the more growth I pursue, the more balance we ultimately need. There was a turkey, a bush turkey, that was just flying through the bush here. Balance is critically important. The risk that we all face as entrepreneurs, high growth entrepreneurs, is that we end up tipping the scales too far. I've seen it time and time again that the stakes are never high enough. The risks never big enough. And I'm a big believer in taking the least amount of risk in order to get to the outcome that you want. I'm not a huge risk taker. I like to take calculated risks. And calculated is subjective because what's calculated for me might be a huge gamble for others. So how do we transfer these lessons and experiences for others to be able to learn and be able to not follow in our footsteps, but just be respectful of the risks required to scale? So let's define a risk. A risk is the likelihood and chance of loss, right? Well, what could we lose? We could lose financial means. Yep. So we invest in something, that investment doesn't work out, and we lose our money. On the flip side, we can keep our money in cash, and we're losing because of inflation eroding away at our capital. The value of money is being diluted over time. Therefore, the opportunity cost is that you need to get your money working for you, because keeping it in cash is not doing you any favors, right? What else could we lose? Well, we could lose time. Time is the rarest commodity. But if you're not doing anything better with your time, then what's there to lose? This becomes critically important as you have multiple opportunities on the go. And then you need to consider where your time is best invested. And what else is there to lose? Well, there is mental health, or health overall. Let's call it physical and mental health. Far too many business owners are inflicting irreparable damage on themselves as a result of pursuing the entrepreneurial journey. There's a fellow that I know was very, very successful, very ambitious, had a $5 million business, was aiming for 10. And I remember having a conversation with him. He had a young family as well, 3 girls. Super switched on, super switched on. But also super dominant personality and not great at taking advice. And he obviously didn't see the signals. He was burning the midnight oil for a long time, working 16-hour days, 7 days a week, multiple businesses, biting off more and more and more. Every time I went online, every time I spoke to him, there was a new opportunity. And I'm like, fuck, where's this guy finding this time? And he's finding the time, but at the cost of something else. And it was the cost of his health, his mental health. And I remember having a conversation with him, and he had a full mental breakdown, full emotional breakdown. And he could barely hold a conversation with the guy. He just wasn't there anymore. Just exhausted to the point of potentially no return. Lost all of his businesses and went back to go get a job. I couldn't think of anything worse. If I never work for somebody else again, it will be too soon. So I've always had a big bugbear to pick with this hustle Gary V bullshit. Some of you might have heard me talk about it before. Because you only have to hustle at a certain stage of your business. And once you get past that certain stage of business, you need to unlearn that habit because it's destructive. I've seen it destroy more entrepreneurs than I've seen it make incredibly wealthy. Like Gary V is a very unique individual by the fact that he can keep up this grind for very, very long periods of time. There are very few humans on the world that can do it. But I still don't believe that he hasn't had a toll on his health as a result. I think that'll definitely catch up with him. I hate to say anything bad about him, but I don't think he'll live a very long life. And you compare him to the likes of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and these really high-level CEOs. Once again, another exception is probably Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a hustler. And these people are thinkers more than actors compared to Elon Musk and Gary V's of the world. These other personalities spend more time thinking, analysing the situation, analysing the data, analysing the options, learning, reading, watching, and they make very, very few decisions. And when they do make decisions, the decisions are incredibly calculated, incredibly precise, because they've laid all of the groundwork. That's sustainable. You can think and observe for a very, very long amount of time. And if you've got enough means, you can compound the results of that thinking and that precise acting exponentially. So this is something that I'm working on myself. I'm transitioning from this very much hustle-based approach. I can't say that I've ever been a hustler. I've always been a hard worker. But I've always tried to find the easiest way to do things. And this is a skill that I'm kind of learning from my business partner, Sam. Sam is very good at thinking for long periods of time and then making decisions. It's an important skill to have, particularly as you're scaling a high growth business. We have 10 businesses now. I've just been interrupted by Charlie. Charlie's here for an afternoon snack. Charlie, what are you doing? There's little Charlie. Hey Charlie, what you up to this afternoon? You just chilling? You cruising? Hey? Your colours are coming in, which is nice. Beautiful around the eyes. His little turkey neck. There he is. I'm going to go finish my video. He's probably going to come over and say g'day because he is very cheeky. So yeah, this skill of getting out of the hustle and focusing more on just making good quality decisions, and it's not a lot of quality decisions, it's just a few really great quality decisions, is what I believe one of the most underrated skills of entrepreneurship to date. When we're getting started in business and as we're scaling up, and I think I'd probably say getting up to your first 7 figures, it is about the quantity of decisions that you make. And they still need to be good decisions, but you can't get away with making one decision and skyrocketing yourself to 7 figures. You need to make good quantity of decisions around your marketing, around your sales, around your delivery, that's going to allow you to create an economy of scale that gets you to 7 figures or more. And then it's beyond 7 figures where it now starts to focus more and more about the quality of your decisions. So it's about the quality of your marketing, and it's the quality of your sales, and it's the quality of your delivery. It's the quality of your team. And it's not to say that quality is something that you can just throw out of the window earlier than this, but it just becomes more and more important. So I know Sam is very, very good at this. I'm transitioning to being more like this and focusing on making fewer but better quality decisions to be able to magnify our results in life and business. The big thing for us right now is that we've developed this ecosystem of these amazing businesses that all serve a very similar client avatar. The aim is to how do we make sure that we can add as much value to those collective clients as we possibly can. And if we can help them add value, like if we can provide them on average a 4x return on investment for every dollar that they spend with us, meaning if they spend 10, they get 40. If they spend 100, they get 400. If they spend $1 million, they get 4 million. That's the next position that I want to get to, where I can help my clients who are at 7 figures or multi-7 figures start adding millions and multi-millions of dollars of opportunity to their ecosystem as a result of being part of the Aureus Group. So our KPI is that we want to acquire 10 businesses a year. By acquiring 10 businesses a year, I feel that we'll be in a really good position to be able to continue to add businesses in that have great skill sets, great people, great lists of clients that can bring into our ecosystem, or it can bring in skill sets or products that we currently don't have or would take us too long to create. So by acquiring and bringing them in, it's going to allow us to add value to our clients faster. So this is the balancing, the kind of scales that I'm trying to juggle here. On one side, in the business side, I'm trying to spend more time analyzing, more time understanding what's going on, make fewer decisions, but better quality, more impactful decisions. And then here I am on the farm, immersing myself as if I'm like a startup, learning through the school of hard knocks, rolling up my sleeves, getting shit done, laying this foundation that's hopefully going to allow me to get to a position where I can start outsourcing a lot of these responsibilities. Or, to be fair, I really enjoy it. So until such time as I don't enjoy it, I will most likely continue to do it. So this is a little bit of a random mishmash vlog, but hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys. Cut down my first tree, cleared some of the drains, found some yabbies, got snuck up on by Charlie again, and most likely multiple other cassowaries as I was roaming around, and shared with you guys some of my my insights. Hopefully it was valuable. Look forward to chatting to you soon.